And Sharp, we actually do have some stuff. Let's see if I could find this to play. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's just look at this Tory interview. After the Tory interview, we're going to get straight to Shannon Sharp, so don't you worry. We're going to get to Shannon Sharp.
Yo, T. Neal in the building, Shade 45.
But Shannon Sharp, Tory Lanez did call in, and he was talking about his case. And, I know we haven't heard from Tory in a minute, but this is Tory talking from behind jail. And he talked about his case a bit. And he's a little bit confused why, he's even incarcerated still. And listen to the points he makes.
With what I can speak on,
right,
is just the blatant evidence. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this evidence was uncovered. Even though I was screaming this at the top of my lungs, a lot of the actual physical evidence was uncovered after trial. There was a ton of prosecutorial misconduct from the prosecutor. Things that they tried to hide and suppress, evidence that would have exonerated me that they tried to hide and suppress. But, God sees all. And at the end of the day, God's been on my side. And he told me at the very beginning of this that at the end of this, not only would I get out of this, but that I would get out of this and be bigger than I've ever been.
Thanks.
And I've watched everything happen into full fruition, whether or not people can see it or not. See, that's the thing about me and God's relationship. God allows me insight on things that are about to happen.
Okay, he's going to talk about the case a little bit. I want to get to that.
For us to pay, to basically get back on appeal and also get...
Okay, so this is an update on Tory's
project.
Nice.
And the Hands of God project basically allows for us to pay legal fees to get prisoners that were excessively sentenced to basically get back on appeal and also get resentenced and get home.
Right.
And I send about 7 people up a month for resentencing. I give them all lawyers, all legal. The same lawyers that I use are the same lawyers that they use, so they're not getting some second-rate lawyer or anything like that.
And you're doing that from all right there.
Yeah, I'm doing it from jail. So I send 7 people up, $14,000 a person every single month.
Wow.
No matter what, so I can give back because I see what kind of hellhole prison can be, and I know that if you have no, relationship with God or those type of things, it can feel like no one's here for you. And so I called it the Hands of God Project because if you feel like no one's here for you, at least you know that the hand of God is on you. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's what it was about. And so there's so many things that I had to come here and learn and see how people were being treated. This is modern day slavery. I want to say that as well. I've watched dudes, that have no support system, no family, no family system, nothing to support them. They put money on their books. I've watched those dudes wake up and bust their back and work every single day for 9-hour days and make 35 cents an hour. And when they get to canteen for the month, all that money is pretty much gone, and they don't even have a lot of food. It's just like the I've never seen this. This is like, it's almost like when you go to prison, you go back to like the 1960s or something. It's like,
damn.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like you're being underpaid. And 35 cents is a high paying job. Like they got jobs, it's like 10 cents an hour. Like it's just bad. Like it's so bad.
35 cents is that's crazy.
The highest paying job pays $2.50 an hour. That's like, you're a baller. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in the prison world, that's like, you have you're Elon Musk.
Wow.
So you have to think about a hostile environment. And then where I'm at, it goes by levels in California. And, this is gangland. You got to remember that.
So that levels thing, what is that? Like, what is that? We can touch on that real quick. What's that? What is that?
All right. So the way it works, it goes in levels. So they got level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4.
Why this nigga Tory sound like he on FaceTime, man? He sound clear as fuck. This ain't no jail call.
And that's the level of custody level that you're on. So basically, like, level 1 is usually like pettier crimes, or like you're about to get out, or you've been doing well enough that you're on a level 1, so you're on the most quietest, like freest yard you got. You know what I mean? It's not a maximum security, it's more so minimum security.
Right.
Level 2 is like, okay, you're starting to bubble up now. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're probably in here for robbery. things of that nature. You know what I mean? You know, but it's ultimately you're on your way out if you're on a level 2 or you're in good sailing. Level 3 is like, all right, it's cracking now. Like, all right, this is where all like you're in here for shootings, you're in here for, you know, maybe you murdered somebody, maybe you. Level 4 is like, all right, you did some heinous, wild stuff or whatever the case
Okay,
is.
let's get to the him talking about the case.
And level 4, you know, like there's all types of people. There's real life politics here. Like I said, I'm always a light, so my attitude. Once you talk to him, you realize, like, nah, that's a good guy right there.
You know.
Nah. Everybody in prison on my side, they like, yo, we know that's bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Got there. Did it take them a minute to warm up to you, to figure out, you know?
Nah. Everybody in prison on my side, they like, yo, we know that's bullshit. They're like, we know that's bullshit. Everybody knew that was bullshit, and everybody a lot of people on the outside knew it was bullshit too. But it was just like, you know what? Tory's convicted. This is what it is. We're gonna go off of this. But let's talk about this for a second, right? Let's go into this.
Okay.
I want you to imagine that they're saying that you shot a gun. You're in jail for 10 years for a gun they're saying that you shot, right? When they go look at the GSR on the thing, they say, hey, the GSR is on 2 people. They say the GSR is on you, and they say the GSR is on another person. And then they say, well, now the GSR is on you. Let's test you. Let's make sure that we DNA test you. And you say, you know what? Yo, you guys can DNA test me today, tomorrow. What day would you like me to come in? I'll come in freely.
Right.
You go give your DNA test up, and when you go give your DNA test up, they tell you you're inconclusive. So all throughout your trial, they don't DNA anybody else. They only DNA you. But even though, despite the other person has GSR on them, they don't DNA anybody else. They just DNA you. And it comes back inconclusive. But you're like, yo, I never touched this gun. So at that point, you're sitting there like, why are they saying that I did this? So now it gets to a standpoint where they don't DNA anybody else. They DNA you. They say inconclusive. All throughout trial, they kept saying, hey, Tory is not, he's inconclusive, so he's not included, but we can't say that he's excluded.
Right.
So that was what their whole argument was. Well, he's not excluded, so this is like, it's a I don't know.
I'm wondering, I know he's convicted at this point, but I'm wondering if it's smart that Tory is even talking like this openly, publicly in the interview about the case, because I think it would then bring people into question and say, well, Tory, like, why didn't you just testify? Because I think part of the conviction here is that there was no one that gave a solid testimony that was basically like really backing Tory up. I mean, you could say that Kelsey tried to, but they pretty much spun her around and she basically was just like, oh, I don't know what's going on no more. But if Tory's now talking about this situation, maybe he should have tested. I don't know.
Test is what the DNA test is saying. It's I don't know. It's inconclusive. It's not yes or no.
Right.
So I go to jail. I get wrongfully convicted. There's no physical evidence against me, but I get wrongfully convicted. And then this is when all the revelation comes out. This is when I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm not having this. I go tell my lawyer, yo, go get another person to go DNA this gun and go check the same DNA stats and results because something funny is going on here. I never touched this gun.
Right. Sure
enough, they go do that. And like I said, I'm 100% excluded. 100%.
Wow.
Excluded from this gun. So I'm 100% excluded from this gun.
No question.
No question. I'm 100% excluded from this gun. There's no fingerprints of mine on this gun, on the magazine.
Yo, chat, I'm also like kind of torn because I guess I'm a civilian. Because even like Tory explained the situation, bro, I'm not taking 10 years for no chick who's going to be. Yo, you know how many niggas, motherfucking Meg Thee Stallion and Kelsey are, yo, they're sucking up the entire, like half the planet, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, allegedly. You get what I'm trying to say. It's like, bro, they're out here fucking and doing whatever they want with whoever, my nigga. I'm not doing time for them. And I get it, Tory might think he identifies with the streets, but you know what I would be doing, my nigga? I'm definitely getting on that stand and said, yo, I didn't shoot nobody. I took the gun out of her hand. That's all I did. She was trying to shoot her best friend. I don't care if y'all call me a snitch after that. What Tory is going through right now, Tory, you were there. You, bruv, like, my nigga, I'm getting on there and be like, I never shot nobody. I try to stop her from shooting her or whatever the case is. Because, like, you know, yeah, we could say everything about Tory getting set up and this and third, but like, Bro, the reason why the jury went with this, they never, like, your lawyer tried to like hint that there's another theory, but they needed someone to say it. They needed someone to say Tory was not trying to shoot this woman. The argument that started from earlier in the day was about these two women trying to fight. They already fought, and that's when a gun got introduced. They're drunk. One was trying to point the gun at the other. I tried to break it up. That's the only way I ever got close to it. The gun went off. But I never shot nobody. I wasn't trying to shoot nobody. I'm a man. I'm a grown man. I don't need to shoot a woman. Like, I think that would have worked.
On the bullets. However, there's 4 other fingerprints and 4 other DNAs on this gun. So this gun is not wiped down. Nobody wiped this gun down. 4 people are contributors on this gun. The main contributor is a 95% contributor. That means 95% of the ownership of this gun should go to that person. That person is not me. The other contributors of this gun is another male and 2 females.
Right.
Now, if the other contributors of this gun are a male and 2 females, but I'm 100% excluded, why the fuck am I here?
That's a fact.
Why am I here? Well, then let's take it a step further. They said that this person was shot, and they said that they retrieved bullet fragments out of her foot. Supposedly. Allegedly. Those fragments that they so-called said they took out of her foot, Cedars-Sinai Hospital comes back in my discovery and says, hey, we lost the bullet fragments.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What?
Now, come on. I've watched a lot of episodes of Law and Order.
How do you lose?
A lot of episodes of CSI. I understand that the police can do things like that. But the hospital is not going to lose whatever they claim that they extracted from any part of your body. They're not going to lose that.
Well, how do you lose bullet fragments? How is that possible?
Exactly. Now, let's take it a step further. They used up every bit of DNA so that nobody could get retested. So right now, if I wanted to test somebody else for this gun, I couldn't.
Because there's no DNA.
Because there's no DNA left. There's a certain amount of DNA that they put on a gun for you to test it. They used all of that DNA testing me, knowing that I was not the contributor, so that they would not be able to have enough to test anybody else and convict anybody else.
Wow.
So then on top of that, then they sealed the gun. So nobody knows where this gun is registered to, if this gun is licensed. You can't see this. You can't find this gun. It's somewhere sealed. You'll never see this gun ever. So even in trial, they didn't produce this gun, and they kept saying that it was sealed. It was sealed. It was sealed. Sealed. No one says any objections. It's sealed. It's sealed. It's sealed.
Right.
Okay, cool. Now that that's done, I want to go back over these facts with you one more time. I'm in jail for a gun that they said that I used to assault somebody with. I have no fingerprints on this gun. I have no DNA on this gun. This gun is not even around for you to see this gun. The bullet fragments are missing according to the hospital. So you can't even say that these bullets came from this gun. And on top of all of that, I'm 100% excluded from the bullets, from the gun, from the magazine, from any fingerprints on this gun. However, there's still 4 other people's prints on this gun. So this gun has not been wiped down. Why am I in jail?
Wow.
Why am I in jail?
Wow. I mean, well.
So with that being said, it's like, I've ate this. I ate it. You know what I'm saying? I took the time. I didn't get on the internet crying about it. And I took it like a man, and I said, God is gonna handle my situation. And that's where I put my trust in, and that's why I've been fine all this time. Because He will do it for me. He will do it for me. And I remember everybody laughed at me because I put out this tweet when I was right before trial started, and I said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
I remember
blah,
that.
blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm gonna let this tweet age. And everybody laughed at that, right? Everyone was like, whoa, this didn't age well when I lost. Everyone was like, oh, this didn't age well. But the funny thing about that thing is that I said let this age for a reason. If I knew I was gonna win right then and there, why would I have to let it age?
Facts.
I knew I was gonna go through tribulation, but I knew at the end God's promise was that I was gonna be bigger and better, and I was going to beat this situation.
Well, family, that's
that will happen.
Hey, well, that's what I'm here for. I'm ready to
it's time.
expedite that situation.
It's time. And
Yeah.
that's why God is aligning, and that's why I don't take anything by coincidence. God is aligning every person that's supposed to be in my life right now, and he's removing everybody. And guess what? It's gonna be a lot of stay over there, my G's. Like it's
That,
gonna be a
yeah.
lot of
A whole
it's
bunch
gonna
of
be a
that.
lot of those. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? The thing
Yeah.
about it is like I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a villain, but I'm far more cutthroat than I used to ever be.
Mm.
So it's like the things that I used to be susceptible to allowing to happen around me will never happen again. I run a very tight shift. I'm the boss of my company, but at the same time, all my life I've been a boss, but I've never had taken the chance to partner with other bosses and create an empire. And so it's people like you, Tony Neal, and people, like Dre London, and the ones that are truly, I'm gonna go into my next chapter with. There's a different grace, there's a different light that's about to be shining on us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even the people that right now that may look at you and be like, "Yo, Tony, why are you linking up with Tory? And what is this? And we don't know what's going on." They know deep down the conviction that I'm talking with is not for no reason. They know I know something that they don't know.
Right. Right,
They
man.
know I know something they don't know.
Man, hey, man, I ain't worried about that. I've been doubted my whole life. Why you doing this? Why you talking to? Yeah, I had that shit. Well, you ain't scared
Absolutely.
to do this with Tory? Nah, what the fuck? Nah, nigga, no, fuck no. Why you doing? Why you imagine public announcement? You know what I argue, man, all that shit. Then fucked around and got the Soul Train shit through them. Can you believe that shit? So it's like I always, you know. Ah man, Akon's like then now his cat is out here killing motherfuckers, like killing shit again. Like it's always a doubt
Of
before.
course.
It's
Of
always
course.
gonna be a doubter before the
Something great.
realization. And yo, and you know, killing part, they're not gonna come back and apologize. That same person is not gonna come back and say, you know what, you was right, bro. I apologize. No. They'll try to find a way
But
to get
that's the
in your
thing.
shit.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing when I say like I'm more cutthroat, it's like all that Hollywood shit that niggas used to be able to run by me, that's you can't do that to me because I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
hold you to it. See, there's a lingo that we learn because we're Hollywood and where everyone's famous and everyone's and da and everybody has pride. Pride. What a funny thing. Everybody
Crazy.
has pride, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't have no pride. I'm paging you, bro. Where's my verse? If you're
Right.
not gonna do it, fam, tell me you're not doing it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not even playing I was in the studio this time and the da-da-da. Yo, fam, if you're not doing my verse, fam, you should have never said it out your mouth. You
Right.
feel me?
Right.
Now it's like, yo, like now I need you to tell me right now whether or not you're going to get it done by this time or if I'm going to be telling you fuck off.
Right.
It's very simple.
Right.
I don't need nobody for nothing musically. In fact, bro, I don't even care. And I want all the artists listening to this to understand something about Tory Lanez, bro. I no longer give a fuck about anybody that's famous as far as like me trying to get on a song with them. I don't want to get on a song with you niggas. I don't give a fuck about you guys. I care about the artist that's coming up, that's just talented, that's just waiting for that break. That's who I want to work with because
Fact.
that was me before. I don't care about working with you famous niggas that have everything already. That this shit, a feature of Tory Lanez to you, it doesn't change your life. I don't want to work with you.
Right.
I want to work with the guy who needs it, dog. I want to work with a guy who, once I give him this record, he's going to go and he's going to take off. That's who I want to work with. That's who moves me. I'm moved by the people. I'm not moved by the fucking fame. Fuck the fame.
Well, if
Fuck
you
the
show,
media.
hey man, you showing it. You showing it. Your independence. You know, shit. Like, I mean, goddamn, you like the independence leader. Like, you look at your numbers still
Real
right
talk,
now.
bro.
Like,
And I ain't gonna lie. And now I finally figured out the perfect independent distributor for me to go to. I'm not rocking with nobody else. There's a distribution that just came out called Parasol. It's PRSL. And they did all the marketing for the last album I dropped called Peterson. They did all the marketing for that. They did all of the helping me get independent playlisting and everything. And
so
like,
what's the name of it again, so everybody can know?
it's Parasol. That's where I distribute from now. It's Parasol is what the name of it is, but the way it's spelled is PRSL.
And what is that? And what does that mean? That's like, what does that mean?
Parasol is actually I don't know. I think parasol is like French word for like an umbrella or something like that,
Shit.
which was actually crazy because it's like the same thing as my shit.
We talking
Right?
about
So
hey, I'm
we
talking
felt right at
about some
home.
fucking. Hey,
Yeah,
you talking
we
about some
felt right
fucking
at home.
synergy right there? Wow, that's
We
crazy.
felt right at home, and
That's fucking
that,
crazy.
yeah, and it's crazy, man, because these guys, they get it. They understand artists like me, and it's hard to understand an artist like me, but they are very new And I do know that is going to be the hub for like real independent artists to really have a major career, but still be independent. So
Now,
it's like you
when
can
you get
get
an
the major
opportunity,
without the
man,
major.
when you get an opportunity, I know you talk from there and all that stuff. When you get an opportunity, hook me up with them.
Oh, I will. I
Yeah, for
got you, man.
real. Plug
I
me with
got you.
them.
I got you. They're looking for new talent and stuff too, and they're flexible, bro. They giving services, they giving playlisting, they giving marketing, they doing
Bro, I
everything.
want to work with
You know what I
them
mean?
directly. Like,
Yeah,
hook me
yeah,
up.
yeah, for
I
sure.
get I get
Don't
what you
worry,
saying.
I'm gonna line
Hey,
you up with
hey,
them.
fuck all that. I get what you saying. All that artist shit is cool. I can do that, but I want to work with them directly because that's the language I be speaking. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Nah,
on that.
we'll,
You know what I'm
we'll
saying?
put that together. We'll put that together, Tony. That ain't no issue. I'll go holler at them in the morning. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
I need that, bro. I'm on that. That's how I feel it right now.
Absolutely,
Everything independent,
absolutely.
everything. Everybody could gotta control their own destiny, man. Like everybody, you gotta be able to control your own shit.
Oh man, trust me, man. But that's the greatest thing about being independent. About and we've gone through it, Tony. Like we've been the independent person that's had to go out there and grind and get it, and so we know about that hustle, about that uncertainty that kind of still drives you. Like we know about that. And at the end of the day, as long as we have that, I don't see where we're ever gonna run into any problems. And like that's why I say, like, man, I know that they get a hold of you, they're gonna be like, oh no, we need this guy immediately.
Man, for
You know what
shit
I'm
show.
saying?
Yeah, that's where I want to be. I want to be where I'm
And
needed.
plus, what's great about them is like they're the type of people where right now they're in that building phase where
Okay.
they're just trying.
All right, man. I think we got the gist of this. Yo, man, every time I've talked to Tory, I give him so much credit because he's definitely a source of positivity. And when you talk to him, he's not down on his luck, and he's not like seeming like, oh man, I'm depressed, like I'm gonna be in here for 10 years. He's pretty much like, his brain is working, his creativity is working, he's making music, he's doing everything. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you, this is like jail's like rehab for Tory. Like you know what I mean? Like he's you may have incarcerated his body, but his mind is definitely not just locked in those walls. I've spoke to him and he has ideas for all type of different things. You know what I mean? Like he's doing business from behind bars. He's making music from behind bars. He's doing a lot, and I really applaud him for that. In terms of him getting out, um, man, just being honest, I think that road is tough. I think that the path to that is tough, unless you never know. Like I do believe if someone like say a Kim K or someone who has some significant influence that are trying to help out people that are wrongly convicted or whatever. If those people really start campaigning, but this is such a very it's such a very controversial case that I don't know if people want to stand next to it. But I think that's one of the ways he could get let out. There's an appeal process, and he's going through it and trying to get every legal means to get him either not really a new trial, but really to get this thing tossed out and get him out of jail, or even get him out of jail on bail while he kind of fights this. But I do think the road ahead is definitely tough. It kind of comes back to what I was saying about early on. Listen, obviously I'm a civilian, so I'm speaking with the sense of, if I didn't do something, I'm not staying in jail for it. I don't care if y'all call me a real nigga or not. I'm not staying in jail for it. Like there were 4 people in that car. 2 of them are going on with their lives. They've had kids. Like I think Kelsey had a kid or something like they're moved on with their life. You're in limbo, being treated like an animal in a cage. There's no real nigga or no street shit that could be in you for you not to be like, hey, listen, this is what happened. Obviously it's a little bit late because when you choose not to testify, it's not like you come back later like, no, I'm ready to testify. But the point is this. You have to operate as someone who was wrongly convicted and not think about, well, what would the streets think about if I do A, B, or C? Like, because the streets would say, well, you got convicted, so you got to eat that. You can't, like, the street shit means you should waste your entire life in jail because you keeping it real. But the humanity, civilian part of it is like, bro, you've been incarcerated for damn near like two years because of something that your own story says you did not do, and you're wrongly convicted. And you should be screaming the truth of what happened to the top of the mountains. Every time there's a microphone, a phone in front of your mouth, or any type of person that's willing to listen until you get free. If you don't do that, how much do you owe to the streets versus you owe to your family? You have a son. He's growing up without a father right now. You have a family that, you know, you're not able to provide. Not saying Tory's far from broke, but you're not able to be there physically and do things for them that you would normally do if you were free. You got to choose yourself at a certain point. This was not a street situation. This wasn't y'all went out to go kill some niggas and then you got caught and then now, but you weren't the shooter, you were the driver, so are you going to tell? This ain't that. The story that we all heard, 2 girls got into it, bruv. They got into it because you were fucking both of them. They were both drunk. Y'all came from a party where you were flirting with Kylie. They got out. They were already fighting in the car. They were whatever. You were a little bit lit too. But if the story really is that you never pulled that trigger, you weren't the person who shot that gun, that harmed that woman, that shot that woman, you should not be in jail. And you shouldn't have to be beholden to any street codes or whatever. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I keep telling all y'all, I don't care if y'all street niggas, y'all get into it with y'all girl, y'all better call the police. That ain't snitching. Because you can't put your hands on your girl. Your ass going to jail. Like, there's nothing you could, a woman could put you in a position where you can't do nothing but call the cops. She do something to you or she hits you, whatever, like, you a bitch if you, but if you like, yo, I just want you to leave. She wilding out on you, breaking shit, doing whatever, what you gonna do? Just, oh, I'm a real nigga, I'm just not going. So the point, that's the only thing you can do. That, to me, that's not snitching, but I'm not from the streets. That's a domestic issue. You can't put your hand on women. So anyway, man, Tory's music will always keep him alive. When I mean alive in presence, and his artistry is always gonna be respected. But I ain't gonna lie, man, Tory's a good nigga, man, and it does hurt. It does hurt me that my boy's locked up, man. And again, every time I talk to him, he's happier than me. By the way, you know Tory watches the stream. Like, yo, Tory listens to the stream. Every time we've had like a little controversial moment, Tory's listening to this shit. Like, Tory's like, I don't want to make it seem like my guy's in there crying. Like, he's not at all. But I'm telling you, man, Tory's a good guy. And man, I just know not only music will be better if he was on this side. I just know Tory is a guy who, man, him being incarcerated, being treated like an animal, being told when he could go to sleep, leave his cell, do all that type of shit. That's not for my man Tory. And I really don't believe the story that we're adopting that got him convicted is really what happened. So just keep sending your prayers and hopefully this resolves itself at some point, okay? Chat, we do have breaking news.
Shit. Like, they don't.
We do have breaking news.